So Phoebe, we played American Factory in the pop-up. You saw it.
Yes.
Give me your impressions.
Well, if you're looking for a very hopeful documentary, this is not the one. I would say this is one of the more depressing documentaries I've seen in a while.
Okay.
And it's depressing in a very like light way, almost. You know, it's not. There's not death. There's not trauma, anything like that. It's more of this very like, oh my gosh, this is kind of where we're going. And that sounds very doomsday-like, but and so starting from the beginning, it's about an American factory that got shut down during the financial crisis. It went out of business, and at this point, a Chinese factory comes in, and there's a lot of hope because everybody's like, oh, good, we're gonna be able to work again, basically, because a lot of them had been out of work since that factory closed. And as they begin to work there, they realize, oh, this is not what I remember. This is not what I had, and it never will be again. And it's sad for that reason, because one of the most depressing parts of it is you hear a woman say that when she worked there at GM, she was making $29 an hour, and she was able to, you know, afford to buy her kids shoes whenever they wanted, and now she's making $12.84, and so it's just, you know, it's this massive difference. And she says she lost her house, they lost so much, and there's just a lot of this feeling of like, well, we're probably never going to get back to what we had before. So that was a lot of the feeling behind it.
Yeah.
You know, they start to try to unionize at some point, and you know, it's just, there's a lot of like, oh, there might be a chance. Oh, nope.
All right. And so as far as the documentary filmmaking, like, what was your impression of the actual filmmaking?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it was really, really well done in the sense that they were clearly just filming these people in a natural situation for them. So it didn't feel like they were forcing questions out of that, forcing any kind of answers. They were letting people just speak freely and express how they truly felt. And they were following specific people throughout it, so you kind of develop this relationship, as it seems like the filmmakers kind of developed a relationship with these people as well. And so I was impressed actually at some of the things that they were allowed to get into too, like some of the meetings that they were able to witness, and clearly they had been granted this level of transparency that I was surprised about. And otherwise, I mean, it was a typical documentary. You know, the music was typical of what you'd see in a documentary. It was nice filmmaking all around. But I thought really what stood out to me about the filmmaking was how the interviews were conducted.
Okay, interesting. So as far as Best Picture or Best Documentary Feature winner?
I'm gonna have to be honest, I didn't see any of the others, so I'm not totally sure how to compare it. I think it's definitely a story that is very relevant to this time, and it's something that I'm glad that I saw. So, you know, yes, I would say, okay, cool, good Best Picture.
All right, very good. And so out of 5 stars, how would you rate American Factory?
I would give it probably a 4 out of 5 for this one. It was, I would say, I'm glad that they didn't try to tamper the depression at the end with like, oh, here's a message of hope. They really just kind of kept it very straightforward and let you take from it what you could. And I think they showed a lot of balance between the Chinese company and the people working there, and the American company and the people working there. So I thought they did a really good job of balancing both sides of it. But also just, you know, you see what people really think about each other, and it's not great. You know, I was kind of surprised that they were willing to say some of the things that they did to a camera crew, but So yeah, I would give it a 4 out of 5 for this one.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Phoebe.
Thanks, Kelly.
We'll see you on the next one.